Hey God, folks, I just wanted to add to that to the previous video that I uploaded, or what I said before about these individuals in positions of power. You know, as a lot of us know that are aware and that are tapped in, you know, these individuals are some individuals that you probably won't even see, right? Those that are in positions of power. You know, for those that may be tapping in and maybe just getting to know me and that is vibing and rocking with my energy and my frequency and everything, I like to talk about truth, not here for, you know, the mess and the drama, whereas, you know, having like some type of faulty feelings, or you know, any grudges or personal vendettas against people to, you know, be exposing on that. Some people are that way. It's very immature and it's a very childish thing, but I am into speaking truth and exposing the devil. Obviously, those that are in positions of power, that are at the, you know, at the top of the pyramid. Once again, those individuals that we will never be in the same room with, those that we will never become acquainted with, but we're always being shown their energy, their tactics, their ways, their frequencies, their agendas, right? Once again, I can't account for everybody. As of right now, I can't account for everybody that follow my content. So if you are unaware, you know, the topics of truth, maybe conspiracies or conspiracy theories, things of that nature, just to give you an idea or an example of what it is that I like. I like to talk about stuff like that, exposing, you know, the truth of you know, these people and these devils in higher places, as I like to call them, and as you know, as I like to talk about. So, you know, in the previous upload, I was saying that, you know, don't be deceived or manipulated or lied to, deceived in a way where you think that just because people show you certain things or they say one thing doesn't necessarily mean that their intentions is what they say, specifically the individuals that are in these higher positions of power, right? Because they have agendas. And when I said that, you know, there are people that are in higher positions of power that want to play God, that is the kind of thing that they do. They use technologies, and, you know, they have powers and things to manipulate the masses and to manipulate the weather and to manipulate all sort of things. If you could think of it, they probably have some type of technology or power to manipulate it. And that is what individuals need to be, that's what people need to be mindful of and need to be aware of. I know that I am tapped in and on the same, you know, wavelength as a lot of what people will call conspiracy theorists, or people that speak truth, people that expose the hidden agendas of certain elitists, people that expose the agenda of what do they call them, globalist, fascists. You know, speaking of the one world order, some people are scared to speak of such a thing because they walk in fear, or because they have made these leaders their gods, you know, their source of power. With that being said, I brought up the Bible because it was kind of hard for me to get my message out, or what I intended to say, while I was multitasking trying to get this work in, right? But what I was trying to say about the Bible is, I believe that there is sacred text. I believe that there is messages and stories and accounts of prophets and holy people, our ancients, our ancestors, people that have certain accounts and stories that we consider sages and prophets, and those that have gotten messages from the Most High. So these divine beings and these high-ranking spiritual or spiritualists who recorded their accounts in the Bible. I believe that a lot of it is true. I believe that this is going to be controversial, but I'm gonna say it. And like I said, it is what it is. We all are not going to agree, so we can agree to disagree. But what I will say is that I believe that there is a lot of credible material and literature in the Holy Scriptures and in the Good Book. Some people say, well, whether either you believe that the Bible is true or you don't. I'll tell you what I believe. I believe that there are some conflicting things, and this is going to be controversial to people. I believe that some people whom some of us may know of, but whom we will never come in contact with, who we will never be acquainted with, eons ago had a hand in writing some of that literature. And if a group of individuals or a individual have the plan, if they have the plan to have absolutely control over the masses, didn't have your best interests at heart and wanted to corrupt the masses, if they had the plan, whatever their agenda is, that was beneficial to them, then they will write certain things in that literature, right? And then they will see to it that it will come to pass. That is the point that I was trying to make. They will see to it, no matter what, that those events and those things come to pass. And honestly, that's honestly what I believe. Could be, it could be in the New Testament or even Revelations. The reason why I say that this could be possible is because these individuals, these people, devils, if you will, we don't carry the same frequency, right? They don't have good things in mind for humanity. These individuals, what we do know about these individuals is they have obtained and collected some of the most holy things, some of the most ancient of things from the motherland and from all different nations, from the ancients that inhabited this land. And I'm not talking about America or just Africa. I'm talking about the world mass, the planet as a whole, Pangea, before the convection currents took place and the tectonic plates, the movement of the tectonic plates, and before the land started to split and have what we call now all of these different continents, nations, countries, all of the above. I believe that they took a lot of things from even like the motherland, for example, from Africa, and they have infiltrated it, and they have taken it to use it for their own benefit, which is not for your best interest. And where they benefit from and where it is at their own benefit is to your detriment, to your disadvantage, and to your demise. And that's why I say what I say. That might be a little bit too deep for some people because, like I said, I can't account for everybody I can't account for all of the individuals who follow my content. So, but I know for a fact that there is a lot of people that rock with the message and a lot of people that resonate with that particular message. And also, I am aware that because the earth is changing, there is a lot of changes and upgrades that's happening. So I said it a long time ago, I said it recently, and I'm gonna say it again. I didn't say it in this way, I wrote it in a post. Because the world is upgrading, because there's so many things that's happening planetarily, with the sun and with nature and just everything that has to do with this planet alone, because there's changes and upgrades. How do we know? Because science is teaching us that. It is forcing a certain awakening and a certain level of consciousness. And everybody that's conscious and are tapped in and following this and know what I'm talking about, they can also attest or agree to that, because once again, we can prove that by the science. So whether people like it or not, whether they agree with the information or not, I can't put up any material right now or any resources, but if people want to connect, I can definitely share some links of information and things of where you can find out about the upgrades that's taking place with the earth, and the upgrades in consciousness. So whether people want to admit it or not, humanity is going through different levels of upgrades of consciousness. And so that would be one of the reasons why, in my opinion, why there's so much destruction going on, why there's so much manipulation, why there's so much war that's taking place over our heads, but then on the ground as well. And when I say over our heads, I say that in a way where I'm not going to get too far deep into that right now. But once again, those that are tapped in, they know what I mean. This is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's not something that's done by accident. It's absolutely intentional. And if an individual only has in mind for you, your enemy only has in mind, I know I said we wouldn't focus on the enemy, but I'm just saying, constantly reiterating that particular word and giving it a lot of power or energy. But when we know that there are beings or people on the planet that has all adversities planned for you, humanity, or people that they deem as useless or smaller, or have a mind for you to be a slave, because that's the way that they look at us, right? If they know that humanity is going through upgrades, and especially in the consciousness, especially for those who are melanated, that's another thing that is scientifically proven, then they would do everything in their power to keep that from happening, right? Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here. You guys, take care of yourself and stay tapped in.